Hi and welcome to Edge of Play's Back to the Tactics board and this Euro 2020 special. The information in these videos has been mainly sourced from the World Soccer magazine, which has got a great European Championships special in there, BBC Sport and various other media outlets as well. In each video we try to look at the qualifying records, the tactical approaches, the strengths and weaknesses. In today's video we're going to look at Group E, featuring Poland, Slovakia, Spain and Sweden. Poland first of all then, they qualified in first place in Group G. In terms of tactical approach, it tends to look like a 4-4-2 but adapts to a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. One fullback pushes on, the other fullback kind of tucks in, and it ends up being a version of 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. Quite an adaptable approach. Apparently one of the quotes from Paulo Sousa is that they would like to adapt throughout a game, and so it's not just a fixed system. They look to use possession to create chances. Obviously that seems kind of really clear, but they've got a star striker and that possession is built to try and create chances for that star striker in Lewandowski, and they look to press in transition as well. I want the players to show the same aggression in defence as they do in attack, Sousa said there. Now, one of the things with this is that apparently Poland have been having trouble defensively more recently. Their record in qualifying is great, but obviously that was spread over quite a long time, so there's concerns that they're not going to be able to defend against the top sides. Pros, well, quite relatively low expectations, not loads expected on this occasion, and they have a world-class striker in Lewandowski. One of the downsides is a new coach. Sousa may be a household name for many from his playing career certainly, but he's only took on the role I think in January, so he's got work to do, still trying to learn about the players, still settling in, decide on the best systems. And whilst they have a world-class striker, they're quite reliant on him. He stands up as being the only really, I'd say, out-and-out world-class. And beyond that, are they going to have the extra quality to provide the chances for him? So I'd say expectations probably last 16. Here's the squad then. Lewandowski stands out as being the key star player. They're all the good players, but sometimes if you just look down through the different club sides, it doesn't tell you everything, but it gives you an idea that beyond Lewandowski there, and Szczesny may be in goal, it's not like a team littered with players from the very, very top level, but it's a strong, decent side that's perhaps going to peak a little later on. Slovakia then, they qualified via Nations League Group B1 and playoffs, and the particular time these took place, they actually finished bottom of this group, went into a playoff, and they beat Republic of Ireland and then Northern Ireland to get their place. So it's not like they excelled in qualifying. Tends to be a 4-1-4-1 formation. The deep line midfielder frees up the veteran player Hamzik, who can then have more freedom to bomb on and find spaces. But generally speaking, it's about being compact and trying to be quite solid as well. One of their FAs said today's team is built on collective strength and a cohesive spirit. It's not standout players in there particularly, it's more about the whole. Pros then, low expectations, no one's expecting too much from them, so that can always be a help when you can just go there and see what happens. And team spirit and hard working. The doubts would come from a lack of goals in the side, and now they're too reliant on veteran Marek Hamzik. And here's the squad. I've highlighted Hamzik and also Milan Skriniar as well, who's done well for Inter Milan this season, and obviously they won Serie A. Beyond that, not lots of household names. You think it's going to be about the team as a whole being solid. On to Spain then. They qualified in first place from Group F. Weren't defeated in that time. 5 points ahead of Sweden, who also qualified. Their standard formation is a 4-3-3. They're possession-based still. They still play a technical game, trying to build the overloads. They press aggressively still. I think the key difference that Luis Enrique has tried to bring in for the Spanish is trying to be a tad more direct at times, having that plan B, having been able to sometimes play the longer pass or the earlier pass, more direct with your players in one-on-ones, trying to get them to go at the opponent. I would love to have a starting 11 that everyone could reel off from memory, but that's not the situation we're in at the moment, he says. We're talented players, not physically strong ones. We're clever and sharp. So it sounds like it could be more of the same from Spain, which can be great on the eye, but when they're playing a team that sits deep, it can actually be quite slow and lack a bit of cutting edge. So some of the pros for the side then, well, it's actually lower expectations than they've had for a while, and it's a chance to make the first 11 for certain players, and a tournament's a great way to do that. They'll still dominate possession. So if it's a baking hot day, for example, or if they can find the incision at the end of that possession, they can still be a quality side. If they get ahead in a game, they can just keep that ball and make it very hard for the opponent. And they've got home games through qualifying as well. Some of the downsides, they're a side in transition. They're looking for new players to step up now and become the new Xavis and Iniestas and so on. And the question remains, can they open up deep-lying, compact sides? We're certainly going to expect that from Sweden, but I'd say from all the teams in their group, are going to try and sit in, deny the space. What will Spain be able to do in those situations? Can they turn all that possession into something a bit more incisive at the end? So at this time, semi-finals, perhaps quarter-finals will probably be an expectation. We know because of their history that Spain could go all the way, but it does feel like it might be not quite their time at the moment. I've highlighted Thiago as an excellently gifted player who can get the ball ticking over, very creative, and I've highlighted Morata. It does feel at the moment like the Spanish forward line it's just not where it was before. Morata does have a decent goal record. It feels like if he fires and they can get them the goals they need, then we know the rest of the team can keep the ball well enough. But it'll be interesting to see who steps up. On to Sweden then. Sweden qualified behind Spain, like I just mentioned, from Group F. They're an old school 4-4-2 formation, compact and well disciplined, quite direct in possession. Their coach, Anderson, said, in our defensive position we start from a 4-4-2, but we play our offensive football in another way. In the modern game you have to be flexible. So you'll expect to see those two banks of four when they're defending. Are they going to bring in the wingers really tight? Are they going to bring one of the forwards in, or the forwards going to have to do their work, drop deep as well? That'll be very interesting to watch, particularly against Spain. But then they have the two up front, and if they're going to go forward quickly, they could catch sides out on the break. You'd expect them to be strong on set pieces and balls into the box. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see the blend of styles when they come up against each other. They're well drilled and organised as a real pro, and team spirit and cohesion that they play as a team, and they did have Zlatan on the way back, and that would have been fascinating to see him come into this kind of very cohesive unit and bring the star quality. But maybe that wouldn't have been such a great thing. It might have won them one game or so, but maybe the fact they're a really connected team without anyone standing out above the rest so much is their strength. Well, we'll see. We'll never know now. It is kind of sad we don't see Zlatan there. And the emerging talent that I've read about, well, maybe it's just too soon for them on this occasion. Maybe they need a few more experienced players to step up and make it more of a base for them to come into. So you'd say last 16 would be the expectation, if not the group stage, but you just never know. If they are as well drilled and strong and compact as we're reading and seeing in recent games, then they could be a team that kind of a surprise package into the quarters. We'll see. And here's the squad. I've highlighted Lindelof, the Manchester United defender, who's singled out as being a key player for them, one of the few players playing at the very, very top level, and Kulevski is meant to be an up-and-coming player from Juventus. Meant they've got a lot of hopes on that player stepping up and being like a future star for the team. So that's Group E. Poland, Slovakia, Spain and Sweden. Who do you think will win this group? I mean, you'd say Spain are probably heavy favourites. It's just a case of being a battle for who can come second. We'll see. Do let us know in the socials what your feelings are about this group, and hope to see you when we look at Group F.